What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hensey, joined today by the man, Chef Lonzo, Jay Lonzo. How are we doing today, Jalen?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Listen, I can't complain. We have a fun little debate to go over today, and that's kind of the Mike Tauchman, Wandy Peralta trade. Kind of discuss who we think won that trade just based on first reactions and kind of recent performances. But before we get too into that, everyone be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. You guys should know the deal by now. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. But as I mentioned, we kind of want to break down, I don't want to say instant reactions, but kind of early takeaways from the Mike Tauchman, Wandy Peralta trade that happened a few weeks ago at this point. Only because I think this is a trade that kind of benefited both teams, right? It was a one-for-one kind of thing. Wandy Peralta came to the Yankees in exchange for Mike Tauchman. At the time, we were kind of critical of it just because we loved Mike Tauchman so much. And personally, I still kind of feel like the Yankees could have acquired Peralta without giving up Tauchman. So I think before we kind of get into any sort of discussion here, I'll give my early take. Do I think that the Yankees won the trade? No, because I think neither team did. Actually, I think you can make the argument that both teams won. Fair enough, right? Rather than saying both teams lost, I would say both teams won, just because neither really gave up much. But I would say that Wandy Peralta has been impressive so far with the Yankees. He was a guy that when we acquired him, kind of like looking at the advanced stats, he was like a diamond in the rough that we felt like the Yankees pitching staff could kind of recalibrate to become one of like those solid pitchers that they turn into a great relief option. And we've kind of seen that so far. It is a small sample size, but in 3 1/3, he's only given up one hit, no earned runs. His stuff looks really good. And on the flip side, Mike Tauchman hasn't looked too good in San Francisco. So I would say as of right now, I guess the Yankees have a slight edge.
Yeah, I think when the trade first happened, everyone was kind of like, this is a complete L for the Yankees. This guy had like a 5-something ERA. Mike Tauchman hit a home run against the Padres, and everyone was just like, I think he also like had a multi-hit night in one of his first starts. So I think everyone was kind of on the fence about it, but now you're kind of starting to see why the Yankees made this trade. Maybe they saw some things from Tauchman that showed signs of regression, and that he wasn't going to return to the 2019 version of himself. And like I always say, or I have said in the past, if you're not going to get something from somebody on your team, get something from him, from as far as like a trade, or maximize their value, because maybe there wasn't as much out there on the trade market for Mike Tauchman as we thought there was. Maybe before the season started, they could have gotten more for him, but as the season started going on, he wasn't really playing much. It was very obvious that he wasn't in the Yankees' plans for the future. So I'm glad that they did get something for him. And Peralta's looked pretty solid. He's a lefty who throws pretty hard. He has good movement. He has a really good changeup. So,
Yeah.
like you said, I think both teams won.
Let me ask you a question, though, because we kind of say that Mike Tauchman wasn't a part of the Yankees' future, which I think he could have been. I think he would have been a solid fourth outfielder for the Yankees. Obviously, that ended up not being the case for whatever reason. But do we think Wandy Peralta is a part of the Yankees' future, right? Because it's complicated, because you look at the Yankees bullpen right now, and they have so many lefty arms out there. You look at, I don't even want to count Aroldis Chapman, but Aroldis Chapman, Justin Wilson, Zach Britton's going to be coming back. You already have Lucas Litke out there and Wandy Peralta. So it's kind of confusing, because I don't know if Peralta's the odd man out right now. I would assume not, since they just acquired him. I don't know if he has any minor league options, but I don't know. I'm just kind of debating with myself right now whether or not I truly see Peralta having a future in the Yankees bullpen, especially because I don't really know if there's much you could do with Justin Wilson. He's under contract for 2 seasons. Lucas Litke has looked really good all season. I can't really see them demoting him. And then with Zach Britton coming back, it's like, do you really want 5 lefties in that bullpen?
Yeah, it's tough because obviously I think if Lucas Litke continued to struggle out the gate, I think like he did at the beginning of the season, this would have been a pretty easy decision. Put Lucas Litke in AAA or DFA him if he didn't have any options left. It could be tricky for Peralta just because he does have a minor league option. So he could be a guy who sees some time at AAA just to kind of balance out the guys who don't have options, because he does. It's kind of just like one of those sucky situations that guys that can find themselves in. But I think it is a good problem to have. So I think if you look into the future, even beyond this year, I know like we always say things like this will always work themselves out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's always it always seems like whenever we get one guy back, another guy goes out. It always seems to happen that way. So it's almost like an embarrassment of riches, as we talked about before. But I really do think that it's a good problem to have. And if you look forward into next season with Wandy Peralta in your organization, you can have some flexibility whether you want to start him in AAA, start him in big league camp. You don't know what your bullpen is going to look like next year. So it's better to just add options into your system now and have them controllable. See what they have for your team now, and then in the future you can make those decisions. If maybe you flip him as another part of a trade package, you never know what these pieces can be used for. So it's a good
Fair.
problem to have.
No, yeah, I would say it's definitely fair. My only thing is that I kind of want to go back to still is while Peralta is a solid option in the Yankees bullpen, I don't think he's so valuable to the point where you necessarily needed to give up a guy like Tauchman for him, right? I think that this is a deal that probably could have gotten done if the Yankees negotiated with the Giants a little bit longer. Obviously, we don't know how long negotiations really went on for, but I think this trade could have got done without giving up Mike Tauchman, and you could have had both Peralta and Tauchman. I think he might have been a little bit too high of a price. I don't know, but bottom line here, I think they could have gotten the deal done for less.
No, I'm with you on that. I wish we could see behind the scenes with negotiation, because they mentioned how Talkman was in trade talks for a while now, going back into early in the offseason. And I think this just goes to show you they didn't see any deals that they liked in the offseason. And it was very obvious that they were looking for relief help, if not starting pitching help, but more than likely relief help for a deal for Tauchman. And I guess this is just a guy that they saw as the best reliever they could have gotten for him. So maybe they just settled on that. I don't want to give the Yankees too much credit. I always find a way to give them credit when they make trades like this, because they do have such a good department in scouting, and they have made a lot of guys who we traded for seem like all-stars, i.e. like a Luke Voigt, Gio Urshela, guys like that. So I do give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to deals like this. And even a guy like Mike Tauchman, who we traded for him, he ended up on our opening day roster in 2019, and everyone was like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like a random deal. So I am trusting them, but I do want to see a little bit more out of Peralta, see where he ends up at the end of the season, and then we can kind of make more of a fair evaluation if it was a worthy deal.
Yeah, and I would just say for the sake of the Yankees, I hope that their outfield stays healthy for the entire season, because now they kind of went from having an embarrassment of riches as far as outfield depth goes, and now they kind of don't have that. They kind of taken that depth and turned into bullpen depth, because it seems like that's what they're strongest in right now. But I think the bottom line here is obviously we can't take trades back, especially as fans. So I think we just have to hope Wandy Peralta does well. I'm still not too sure what his future is going to be in the Yankees bullpen, but I guess we'll have to wait and see as time goes on this season. But that is going to be wrapping things up for today's episode of Unhinged Talk. You guys know the deal. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. You guys also know the deal. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.